Hello and welcome. Today we're going to focus on Chapter 5, so I'll switch over to Chapter 5. Chapter 5 focuses on the structure and function of large biological molecules. We're going to take a look in this chapter at 4 types of molecules that we see in living cells: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. We'll focus on their components, their structure, and then what they do inside living cells. So let's get started with an introduction. So these biological molecules might be called macromolecules. Macromolecules are large molecules made up of many, many atoms bonded together. Okay. Sometimes macromolecules are called polymers. Now a poly means many, mer means parts. A polymer is made up of many repeated units. So you can write that in there if you want to. Many parts. Many parts. Ooh, this is looking pretty messy. Okay. I think of polymers as a chain of poppet beads. Maybe you had these when you were really little. Poppet beads are different colors and sometimes different shapes, but they're connected to each other, or they can be connected to each other. A chain of polymers might be considered a macromolecule, a chain of many parts put together. The parts aren't always identical, but they're pretty similar. The building blocks of a polymer are called the monomers, the single units, right, or the single or the simplest parts. The single part. We're going to put together these single parts to make a more complex molecule. So if we're building a polymer, putting together a more complex molecule, like we're taking and building a large protein from amino acids, that's going to require some energy. It's also going to require a special reaction. We'll take a look at it. This reaction is called a dehydration reaction. Breaking down a polymer, separating, or let's say if you eat spaghetti, and that big starch in spaghetti has to be broken into its little pieces, that's going to require another type of reaction. That reaction is called a hydrolysis reaction. Hydrolysis or hydrolysis, okay? Let's take a look at both of these a minute. So this is building a polymer, and what we've got here is a very short polymer made up of 3 purple dots, and a 4th purple dot is trying to be added, right? This building a polymer requires dehydration, dehydrate, to take away water. What essentially happens is a bond forms between these 2 units. That bond is a covalent bond, a strong bond that forms between them. But as it does, water is removed. So it requires the removal of water to form that bond. So we call it a dehydration reaction. And again, this is going to take some energy. Breaking a polymer requires hydrolysis reactions. So now we've got this 4-part polymer, and we want to break it into smaller pieces. To do that, to break this bond, and it's a covalent bond right there, requires the addition of water. Adding water, and you can see how the components of water get split, but adding water to break the bond, that's called hydrolysis or hydrolysis, water breaking. And that's what we need to do to break down the polymer. Not all macromolecules are polymers, but many of them are, and we'll point those out when we get started next time. Thanks.